research professor of theology, law, culture, and archaeology at Faith International University and Seminary in Tacoma, Washington. He and his wife Irina have taught and directed many tours in the Mediterranean and Middle East, including Israel, Greece, Egypt, Jordan, Italy, and Turkey, particularly with the Biblical Archaeological Society. Dr. House has taught biblical and theological studies at several universities and seminaries during a teaching career of over 50 years and has written 150 articles and 50 books, including the Evangelical Dictionary of World Religions, The Jesus Who Never Lived, Exposing False Christs and Finding the Real Jesus, the Zondervan Handbook of Biblical Archaeology, Israel, the Land and the People, an Evangelical Affirmation of God's Promises, and editor of the Nelson NKJV Study Bible and Nelson New Illustrated Bible Commentary. Dr. House is the general editor of the Evangelical Exegetical Commentary Series, 44 volumes, with logos, Faith Life. It is the knowledge amassed from these experiences, along with the assistance of biblical scholars at a variety of universities and seminaries throughout the world, that provides the information contained in his latest project, the House Visual Study Bible Online. Thank you for joining Archaeology in the Lands of the Bible with Dr. H. Wayne House.
And welcome to tonight's visitation of Jerusalem. I'd like to say where it all began, but it actually began in the Garden of Eden, so that was like a long time before that.
Wait.
And H. Wayne House. Where did H. Wayne House go to?
Something happened there.
Mm-hmm.
It said device not connected. I think
Well, he's discombobulated, so we're gonna have to wonder where he's at. Oh, and Tanuki's doing her official online, so she's on YouTube too, right?
Yeah.
Well, does someone want to start telling some stories while I call Dr. House and find out where he's at?
Well, sure. We can talk about the Christmas story in Luke 2.
That's good. Why don't you lead the way, Faber, while I step out of here for a moment?
I thought I'd ask a few questions, and let's see if MJ knows them, and if she doesn't, others can come up. So, MJ, from the account in Luke, do we know that the innkeeper was mean and just kept them out, or what was the innkeeper's motivation for keeping Joseph and Mary out of the inn?
It was just full. That was it. There were just a bunch of people traveling to Bethlehem because of the census, so there was no room. So it was sorry.
But it's like in all the Christmas plays we see, though, there's always a mean innkeeper that's saying, there's no room in the inn, you can't be here. I mean, anybody want to disagree with MJ?
No. Not really.
Okay.
No.
Well, how about, so when the angels announced the birth of Jesus, were they singing?
They spoke and then they started singing like hallelujah to God.
Are you sure they were singing though? What does the text tell us in Luke 2?
Let me just look that up real quick.
Anybody want to take a shot at it? Where the angels?
When I see myself.
Oh, there he is. The doctor's back in the house.
Everything went away. Who sabotaged this?
Yeah, Dr. House. I'll turn it back over to him.
It couldn't have been me, so it must be somebody else.
God.
Well, anyway, thank you very much. In Faber, you were helping out there. Let me go ahead and start out and say tonight we're going to talk about the issue of the nativity, not Jerusalem. It's a place called Bethlehem, and so that's what we have on the slides, I hope. But before we begin, I have a quiz for some of you. Ready? This is all about Christmas. Okay, how well do you know the Christmas story?
We already covered one of those, Dr. House, just to let
Which
you know.
one?
The one about was the innkeeper really a mean person?
Okay, you've covered that when you decided he was. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, did three kings arrive from the east to worship the child at his birth?
No.
They were three wise men.
Well, we don't know how many.
How many, MJ?
They were wise men, and most traditions say three, but there could have been more. So
yeah,
they actually showed up.
The question is, did they show up at the birth?
No.
Not the birth.
They were a few weeks later.
No, I'd say quite a few times later, because
when he was about 1.5 to 2 years old.
Settled on how much time based on 2 years. So he was probably there at least several months. And if you read Matthew and read Luke, they're talking about different issues. I even talked to a well-known Jesus scholar called the Jesus Seminar Scholar about this. He was telling me the Bible clearly contradicts itself because look at it. He said in Luke, you have the birth of Christ, and in Matthew, you have his birth. Let's see. He said his birth is in Luke, and also in Matthew, you have his birth. And so that's a contradiction. And so he was convinced that Matthew and Luke are in contradiction. I had to say not his place. He was actually in a house then. He was born in a house versus an inn.
Yes.
Well, I have a quick question about this. If Herod, what's that? I'm okay. I'm just the person speaking off to the side. I'm the Wizard of Oz. Anyway, so my question is, if Herod said, he decreed that the male children in Bethlehem were to be killed between the ages of infancy and 2, would that have to do, obviously, with how old an estimation?
Yes.
So you think the maximum he'd be 2 years old?
Yeah. Well, see, you have Jesus. Remember, after the birth, he was actually taken to the temple and circumcised and went through the thing, and that was required in the law. And then you have, where were they afterwards? Was he Joseph? That was his home. There were lots of people, historically, and he would have had a lot of contacts of people. I can't imagine he would actually set up shop in a room underneath the house and not actually do his own. So you have Luke clearly only dealing with the birth of Christ, and you have Matthew not dealing with the birth of Christ at all. That's why when I set up my creches, on Christmas time, I always put the 3 wise men, not kings now, the 3 wise men's quite a ways away because it's going to take them a while to get there. And I kind of keep it historically accurate.
But MJ pointed out, Dr. House, that it's not really, we don't know that it was 3. We just know there was 3 gifts named. And she said there could have been many, many wise men. That's right.
Yeah, you could have, but I don't have any more wise men to purchase right now. So for me, I only have 3 because of necessity.
You're maxed out.
And all my pictures have it. So what can
That's right. It could have been a caravan of the
wise. Yeah, just because there were 3 gifts doesn't mean there were only 3 wise men, or if you want to call them wise men even. But since they were the people looking at the stars, probably they were viewed as being there's a wise woman. And so, honey,
well, if it was Chicago, they'd be 3 wise guys.
That's right.
Okay, let me go on. You guys are exceeding me here. Did Mary ride on a donkey from Nazareth to Bethlehem?
Yes.
Where in the Bible does that say that?
No, I don't think
I believe it's also in.
You would look for an eternity. It's not in there.
No, it's not.
No.
But think about this. See, Mary was already pregnant. She was just a few days from having birth. And can you imagine Joseph, even though he's required to go down to Bethlehem under Roman law, you think he would say, listen, you walk alongside me, I'll take the donkey.
I think she would have gone into labor very quickly.
Very quickly. So she was probably on a donkey because you wouldn't have her to walk all that distance. So I think that's probably true, but there's no evidence exactly. Did the angels sing at his birth?
Well, it says that they were praising him, so I've always taken that to mean like they were possibly.
It says there was a multitude that appeared. That multitude appeared after the angel gave the message to the shepherds, and they were the ones singing.
They were the ones singing?
Apparently. Luke
that heavenly hosts were praising, glory to God in the highest. We've always connected that to having a choir or something, but I'm not sure it actually says that.
May or may not be.
And the last thing at all, and everybody's got this figured out, did the birth of Christ occur on December 25th?
No.
Nobody knows.
Some
No,
people actually think it happened more towards spring.
I need to hear from my scholar in the north there. I don't know what
She just threw it out there. MJ just said it was probably in the spring. MJ, I said that to my wife this morning. She says, no, I think the evidence points that it was in the fall. But, you know, you'll learn sometime in life your wife may always disagree with you whatever time of year you say it is. So.
Yeah, you can have said any time, right?
I have to tell you, one of the best books I've read on this just came out about a month ago.
Yes.
Called
I
Full of
agree.
Grace and Truth by
That
R.L.
is a great
Solberg.
book.
By whom?
Full of Grace and Truth is by R.L. Solberg,
I
Solberg.
don't know that name.
Does an excellent job.
Well, that's good. Anyway, those are fun to go through. And
no more fun, right?
No more fun. We're going off to Bethlehem.
Amen.
Did anybody tell you what Bethlehem means?
House of bread.
House of bread, right on.
Bethlehem.
Okay, you have Lechem and you have Beit, house of bread. Yeah, okay, good. But
The house of carbohydrates.
Yes.
There's no donuts involved.
Darn it.
Carbohydrate house. Yeah.
All righty. The one who controls the okay, there he is. He's in charge.
There you go.
All right. In case you wonder, I'm always on the right there. I'm no matter what it is, I'm on the right. So there.
That's right, because you're like me. You're so conservative you can't eat for the left when you're driving.
Actually, that's one of your motives. You know, Don has a wonderful program. What do you call that program, Don?
The Unknown Webcast. See, you don't even know what it is. Unknown
That's
Webcast.
right. There are many times. I'm just trying to think what exact name was. Unknown Webcast. It is one of the funniest things usually I've ever seen. They have great people who visit, except for me occasionally. And
it's serious topics, but with just a touch of humor.
Yes.
Satire. Yes.
More serious than what I just did.
Not really.
And I love the credits at the end. You'll have to see that sometime and watch it. Anyway, this is in fact on Bethlehem, the house of bread. Anybody know a book in the Old Testament that seems to focus on Bethlehem?
Besides Micah?
No, there's one that focuses very much on Bethlehem.
Besides Luke?
Old Testament, maybe, huh?
It's in the Old Testament.
The Old Testament.
A small book.
Ruth.
Oh,
Ruth. Great. Ruth.
Oh, here she is. She's right here.
I have a sermon on Ruth. I preached it actually. I went out to speak at an archaeological museum in California. They asked me to come. Then I was asked to stay around and preach at a church there on Sunday, and I preached what are things. The unknown God who is in control was the name of my topic.
Oh.
And that's what Ruth is all about. The unknown God behind the scenes, putting all things together that seemed bad and difficult. And from that came Messiah himself.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great book to read. You should read Ruth every so often.
Nice.
Amen.
It's about Bethlehem. Now, this is the Church of the Nativity. I've just put that there because I'm going to come back to that. Let's move on to the first slide and sort of talk about it. Okay, now I put that on there just to give you a perspective of how close Bethlehem is to Jerusalem.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, Jerusalem is still in the area of Judah, and Bethlehem is a city that you have as a house that it's where David did his work. I mean, he came out of Bethlehem as a shepherd,
right,
in the days of Saul and the giant and so forth. You know the story. By the way, if you ever go with me to Israel, remember you can always take a rock home.
Oh,
I'll point out the right ones to pick.
There you go.
But anyway, you'll see it's the very top almost of the Dead Sea there, and the little piece of water at the top, not quite at the top, that's actually the Sea of Galilee. They call Lake Kinneret, is how they would say it. I always think Bible translators, before they translate, should go to the land of Israel and see what it's talking about.
Yeah.
Because they so often get things wrong. And and because they're either copying somebody else who didn't go, or they are too lazy to go, or something. But you need to go there to see and understand the places, the dimensions, the geography, the hills. Well, to understand the land, and come back and translate and get it right. So one of the worst translations in the world is John 15, which they get it totally wrong. And every lexicon in this and that's ever been put out shames them for the translation of words there. Yeah. Anyway, so that's what we're talking about. Bethlehem, just a little bit south. It's 5 to 6 miles. I can't remember exactly how much, but it's around that. Let's go to the next. Now, this is just giving you a view of the outskirts of modern Bethlehem. You can see that there's a lot of buildup now, a lot of land around. Somebody recently told me that Shepherd's Field was real small. I don't think that's really true. There's a lot of land around there on which sheep are brought outside the city of Bethlehem, and there is a place close to the YMCA area and some of the others that are built right on the edge, and that may be what they're thinking about. But there's a lot of land grazing of sheep there. Anyway, that's in the distance. Let's move on to the next.
A quick question for you guys.
Yes.
So I've heard, I don't know if this is true, but I heard someone saying, I can't remember where, that the shepherds that where the angels came to appear to, that they were shepherding the flock that were for the temple sacrifices. I don't know if that's true.
Well, that is a perspective people have, but I doubt if every shepherd in every place was doing that.
Right.
You wouldn't have anything for anybody else. So
just because it was close proximity to Jerusalem, but
I think the contention that James was talking about, Dr. House, is the one we heard the guy giving this morning, that it was just the particular shepherds that were Levites that were there in Bethlehem that were preparing them. I think that's what he's talking about.
It might have been
not shepherds all over the country.
Right. No, just in that particular.
I don't think you could demonstrate that. I don't think
so either. I don't know.
It makes a good story, though. You got to
right.
It'll sell a
book. It caught my ear.
People make up things a lot of times.
That's true. That's what I figured.
I don't think you could demonstrate that the ones that were there, for example, in the middle where they had their voice, that they related to that. Now, I've known that people have taken that and tied things together almost like allegory.
Right.
Try to pull the thing together, but I don't want to do that. I don't think that you can demonstrate that. Actually, I remember hearing what he was saying. I just kept my mouth shut. But I just I don't think that's probably
definitive. I found that a little bit kind of
Anyway, let's move on.
Continue.
This is the road to Jaffa. Can anybody think about Jaffa? Where's Jaffa?
Jaffa.
Jaffa's Jaffa. That's where that's where Jonah was when he took off, right?
Where what?
Jonah was from Jaffa.
Yeah. Why? I thought it was Joppa.
F and a P are the same linguistically, actually.
Okay. Yeah, they will actually. Joppa is how we usually get it in the text. It is in fact Jaffa, and as the people in Jerusalem use it, you'll have the Jaffa Gate, not the Joppa Gate.
Yeah.
And so, but that's a place that went down to where Jonah is, and I've gone to the place that Jonah was in and sort of see what it was like. I like to sort of look around and sort of see where the biblical places are and try to understand them better. It's right there on the sea, and it's not far south from what we think of as Tel Aviv today. Anybody been to Israel?
Yeah.
Okay, well, listen, if you haven't gone, I take tours every year. Take people and explain things to them. I tell my tour guides they can basically rest because I've had a lot of experiences over the many years of touring with tour guides. And I tell them they can rest. They can get us to where we need to be. And if it's something I need, I'll have them to help me. But basically to solve problems with people around there. But I try to explain because I want to connect everything to the Bible.
Sure.
Where people, when they go back home, they can read the Bible more intelligently. That's my purpose in being there to begin with. So we go down and look at places and try to understand, what the text is talking about. Down in Joppa, they do have a big well out there in the middle of the hall. It's not a real one.
Oh, good.
Oh.
But that gives you a clue for what's going on there. One thing I always thought about interesting about that is that the biblical text that God prepared this fish. Some people say that, this couldn't happen in real life.
Uh-huh.
God can do quite honestly whatever he wants to do.
Oh, yeah.
And I think the attack on some of those things are based on the fact that they don't understand that God was always active and moving in and out of the world, doing things that accomplish his purposes.
Exactly.
So I don't have any trouble with that. But anyway, that's Road to Jaffa. Next.
Well, okay.
And pre-modern Bethlehem. Now, I only did this for you to give you a picture, and I found this as an old picture, in one of my books, because Bethlehem today is quite a different Bethlehem of the ancient world. And a lot of building has taken place. And of course, for a long time there, you had both Christians and Jews and Arabs who lived together in harmony, basically, and until you had Arafat. And then after that, everything sort of fell apart. He was too busy trying to collect his $2 billion that was in his bank when he died. Fortunately, he didn't have a chance to spend it. So a lot of problems came in, but they really built the town quite differently now. And I'm going to show you toward the end of the slides there on that. So let's keep moving, give you a feeling for the land. It's also a place, again, I just gave you a color shot of it.
Oh, nice.
These small places, and it doesn't look like a regular modern city the way this thing's built up. Continue on. But I'm going to go ahead and go on. I've used too much time on some other things. I'm going to pass up a couple things here and there.
Did you say what the approximate population, might have been, or?
Well, I know after Arafat about, at one time it was about 80% Christian, and it's become about 80% Arab now. I doubt if there's hardly any Christians left. Most of them went up to Nazareth, up in that area. Nazareth is made up of Jews and Christians and Arabs, all three, quite a bit. But notice here, I did this deliberately. I just wanted to show you that it does snow in Israel.
Wow. It's a lot of snow.
When I went to live there at Kobe Bleak with the monks and the scholars there, Dominican scholars, I stayed there quite a while. And I was there during the Christmas time, and it snowed then too. It was so fun to get out there and think I'm in Israel and it's snowing.
That is cool.
And so this is an example. It does in fact snow, and it gets cold, which is the reason why I always take tours at different times of the year that it's snow time. All right, continue. That's a modern city, by the way. You can see the place that the pier comes up. From the Church of the Nativity. I picked this one. I had a black and white, but I found this one, a color one. These are sheep, in case you didn't know, and that's a shepherd. And shepherds and sheep are around there. But the thing I want to make clear, though, there are so many places in that area that people have sheep and shepherds. I mean, they say, well, this is a place, that it happened in reference to Jesus and so forth. I don't know how you figure that out.
Yeah,
there's lots of places that people herd sheep down there, and so I'm not sure how you would pick out which one and say that's a shepherd place. That
right. They might have all had something to do with it. Who knows?
So I try to. That would fit my little sheet a while ago I had though.
Oh yeah. That's right.
Let's keep moving.
Kind of sheepish, right?
A little different view of the land. See, this is all around Bethlehem.
Wow.
Some places those are basically trees, and they're all over the place. In other places, you have a lot of land that you feed sheep and other kind of animals, goats. They don't just do sheep, and so it's a fairly large area around Bethlehem. It's the area around it is far bigger than the city itself.
Nice.
Next.
Yeah. Now, I give you this for only one reason.
Oh,
This is close to Bethlehem. This is called the Herodium. Sometimes M and N's are used in variations. You sometimes say N and M. Usually it's Herodium. That, by the way, is a place that later on Herod, who went after Jesus, died and was buried there. A very tragedy. Not well known, but I didn't know him well, but I was around sometimes Ehud Netzer, who was a person who spent 30 years of his life trying to find the actual place of the burial of Herod. And they found the tomb, found everything they needed, and they were having a celebration the next week, and he was leaning against a part of the stairs, and it wasn't stable, and it gave way, and he fell to his death at 30 feet below. And that was a real tragedy that he didn't have an opportunity to enjoy all the 30 years of work there.
Wow.
The Herodium. And we'll talk about the Herodium. I want to take you over there and let you see some of the stuff. And that'll be one of the things I want to do. And I'll take you some other places in Israel. Okay, Herodium. And again, I'm just going to move on right now. Continue on.
Continue on?
Yeah. Based on time, I'm trying. Now that's what I want. Every single person you think about, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that were within the covenant, not Esau and not Ishmael and so forth, but the people that were in the area we think of, they're buried in Hebron, which is lower than Bethlehem. And I've been to Hebron only once. But they have it's an interesting thing. They have a gigantic building that was built, but half of it is Muslim and half of it is Jew. And sort of an interesting kind of setup, although the Israeli military are the ones who are all over the place.
Wow.
To ensure that things go well. I wouldn't trust the others.
Yeah.
On the other side. But this is actually the tomb. As you come into Bethlehem, this is the place that Rachel was buried. Remember, she actually died Jacob's wife died on the way down, and they buried her here, but the rest of them went down to the heaven.
Wow.
So that gives you a view. Now, there's another picture I'm going to show you of that, and it shows a bunch of taxis out there.
Waiting for a ride, huh?
If you need a ride, that's what you need. Anybody ever read has ridden a camel?
Can't say that I have.
No.
I have.
Yeah.
You have? How many hands we got there? 1, 2, maybe 3. Where did you ride a camel?
I rode it Jericho.
In Jericho.
At the Renaissance Festival.
Oh.
We'll hit Jericho down the way. There's some interesting things at Jericho. But this is where Rachel was buried. But camels were the major form of transportation. And actually, they are great for the desert. They're fairly fast. They don't eat or drink. They don't have to be replenished very much. And I know that I've been there one time. Some guy, I wish Arena were here. Some guy offered, I don't know how many camels for her.
Yeah, that actually happened to a friend of mine when I was in Israel. It was with a high school group, and she has blonde hair and blue eyes. We were in Jerusalem actually, and this guy came up. He was very, very, I wouldn't say aggressive, but he was very persistent. He offered 10 camels for her. And would not take no for an answer.
Yeah,
that's common. I think Arena. I'd have to ask her, but I think something like 15 or 20 camels.
Yeah.
What do they want for the camels? What do they get in return?
The girl.
They got my wife, but that's it's a sacrifice.
I would have told him 15 to 20. That's an insult. Make it 1,000.
Yeah.
Okay, I am a princess. I expect to be treated as such.
There you go. Stand up for yourself.
They don't even respect the marriage. They still offer the camels, huh?
Oh yeah.
Oh, they don't well, their whole view of marriage is off limits. Boy.
Okay.
That happens quite often, apparently. I've heard of several stories like that.
Really?
I can't.
Have you ever ridden a camel?
No.
Not
I've
even
seen
in
one.
a dream.
I loved it.
Yeah.
I was in the Sinai. Oh, by the way, did you read about St. Catherine's Monastery? It's been taken over by the terrorists.
Ugh. We heard
And
that.
they kicked them out of the monastery and wouldn't let them take the scrolls or anything with them. That just happened the other day. We talk about it every time, but I just thought you might want to read on that. I've been there many times. Had a friend, actually, one of the priests there, from California. But anyway, if you were at St. Catherine's Monastery at about midnight, they set up camels for you on certain days, and you can get on there and they'll ride you up around the area of the mountains all the way up to a place where you just climb the rest of the way to a place of worship, a sanctuary at the top, and you can be there and you can watch the sunrise in the morning over the Sinai Peninsula. It was a phenomenal experience. I will never forget it. I had on classical music on my ears at night, slowly, and I found. By the way, I learned how to ride a camel. You don't like a horse. It would not work.
You don't say giddy up?
I've never tried it. They just knew what to do. They're smarter than a lot of people.
Yeah.
I bet.
Pretty much.
We went up the mountains to a certain place, and it took us about 3 hours or more, I guess, to get up there, or more, maybe more than that. But it was really a good experience. And I showed you that camel last week. Remember what happened?
Oh, wait. The one that was kneeling down?
No, the one with his face up like this.
Oh.
Drinking his Pepsi Cola.
Oh,
Yeah, the Pepsi can. Yeah.
I've often wondered if I'd sent that to Pepsi Cola, if they would not used it. I don't know.
Oh, that's terrible.
Oh, wow.
Anyway, that's sort of, we're going to go to the Nativity and place in the Church of the Nativity in just a moment. I just want to show you the wall. If you haven't been there, you wouldn't appreciate. This is a wall that goes around Bethlehem.
Oh,
The Jews, they monitor this place. They do not want problems anymore.
mm-hmm.
And
It's a big, beautiful wall.
we could use about, I don't know, about
the biggest, the most beautiful. I can't
There
do
you
that.
go.
we could use several hundred of these at the southern border of America. There it
Absolutely.
is. Let's continue on.
It is shockingly high also.
Is it?
Way higher than it looks like in this picture.
Yeah, and it's purposeful.
I mean, I think that's a guy hanging on the side of it to show you how.
Oh, that went all the way over
that's
there?
Right, yeah.
Yeah, go ahead and go on. I got two more spots.
He's hanging around, huh?
No.
Oh.
No, it's not a guy.
The guy.
Oh, what is that?
No, it's a light, I think.
Camera.
Flat lamp or camera, yeah.
I'm not sure. One more. And now you'll get an idea. There you go.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
If he were to
How long
stand over
has
by
that
the
been
wall,
there?
it's at least about 3 of him, probably high at least.
Oh, higher than that. I'll look it up real quick.
Do
Okay.
you know how long it's been there?
It's been there since after the time of Arafat.
Yeah, it looks like it's about 25 feet high.
What?
All right, 25. Okay.
Wow.
But
I
anyway,
don't remember seeing the wall. I remember seeing chain link fences when I went.
Well, there might be those behind it. There-
Hey,
Long time
hey
ago.
guys, it's 39. It's 39 feet high.
Oh,
Oh,
well, it
wow.
doesn't look that high, I don't think.
doesn't.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking about 50 feet tall. It's a shocking.
Really? Really? Wow.
Yeah. It's,
Well, when you go to Bethlehem, you actually come to a checkpoint. You have to get through the Israelis to go in and out. In other words, it's carefully guarded because of the potential.
Sure.
But things are a little different probably now, since some of the guys like Arafat have been taken off the scene.
Mm.
But
they had so many suicide bombers that would sneak in from Bethlehem.
yeah,
They finally just put this giant wall up.
yeah, just not only suicide bombers, several other kinds. They have terrorists all over the place because anybody read anything on Islam?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody really read some stuff? Okay, because
Finish the entire Quran.
Islam is a very fascinating religion, not one that I would recommend for anybody. Of course, I believe in Christianity, as you know, but the point of it is, it is a hateful kind of view. I did a book called Evangelical Dictionary of World Religions. Also did a church book on world religions, a big thick one. If you ever want to read these things, it's amazing to see what some of these religious views are. But Islam must be the worst of all. If you were to look at every religion in the world. Let's keep moving. I want to get to the Church of the Nativity here now.
Well,
that gives you an idea inside the city. These are waterworks. These look very similar, though, to the ones you see at Laodicea in Turkey.
Yeah.
The basic same kind of approach. Continue. There it is. Stars and Bucks Cafe.
Stars and Bucks. Okay.
That is a clear indication of civilization.
For sure. Stealing other people's.
Hold on, go back. I haven't finished with that one yet.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Isn't that cultural appropriation or something?
When I saw that, I thought Stars and Bucks. And then I went into Jerusalem across from one of the city gates, and they had a thing called like Kentucky Fried Chicken. It was what was that? It was something very similar. They've taken our kind of terminology and so forth, and
falafel fried chicken.
Stars and Bucks Cafe. Anyway,
wow.
Looking for a Starbucks. Oh, don't worry, bro. I got you. Stars and Bucks.
That's right.
I almost forgot something. This is a place I was able to meet. Of course, much older, but one of the two boys.
Oh yeah.
Found the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Oh, is this where it was? Okay.
Yeah, it was really crazy, and I didn't know who he was, but I had a friend who did.
Okay.
He introduced me to him. He's a quite older gentleman now. He may not be alive now, but that was very important to me. But I saw Star and Bucks. I thought that's great. Let's continue on.
So did he say, "Hey, let's meet at Stars and Bucks"? You thought it was Starbucks or something?
Yeah. Okay. Listen, I'm getting now into the issue of the Nativity, and we've looked at a lot. I just want to introduce you to Bethlehem a little bit around there. But this is a cave. Now I want you to notice something. With this cave has multiple rooms in it, as it were.
Okay.
It's not just the open area. You actually have separate components inside there underneath, and there probably at one time may have been even a house on top of it. It was a characteristic to have a house, and you also had a place below that you oftentimes keep the animals. But even in the ancient days, even animals sometimes, can you believe if people would even bring animals into their home?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's solicited not much of a joke because I've got 4 cats in my home.
Well, there you go.
I agreed to 1 and I ended up with 4.
Yeah.
So anyway, but what you had here is a place where people could stay, our animals could be taken care of, and both things did occur in the ancient world. It's not like our concept of Holiday Inn or something. And these weren't official places of staying. They would be places that would probably be offered by family or friends and things of that sort. But it's not an inn as we think of an inn. It's more like a place that they had an opportunity for people to stay the night or be protected from the weather and obviously animals too. But continue on. We got 2 or 3 of these pictures. This is called the YMCA cave. There's 2 other places that are viewed as possible locations beside the Church of the Nativity as possible places of Christ's birth. But I'll explain more to you in just a second. If you can look in there very carefully, I purposely brought this picture because I didn't have any pictures I could find inside, and I'm sure I'd make it a couple, but I couldn't find them. If you were to walk down that little stairway, can you see the stairway? It's not a drop; it's a stair.
Okay.
And it's held up by these pillars,
right,
to protect it. And you had different rooms inside there. Now, to the right, you have a manger. That is a manger. It's not like the kind you see, in some churches or whatever. in big things of stone. They bring in these little wooden things with some hay. But this was actually a trough that people fed their animals from, both of, whatever kind of food they ate and of course, water. But it also could have been used, and it probably was used for Christ as a place of sleeping and so forth. Now, let's continue on, and I've got a different view. This is where we get together, and we also sing songs of Christmas time when we take tours there. But it's never at the time of the season. Now, this is just another view. This is one broken, but it just show you a little bit bigger. It's sort of rough. But if you go to the north of Israel, a lot of the places like Bet Shean or someplace like that, or Megiddo, they would have places that you'd have also stone. Everything mainly was stone. There wasn't really a lot of wood like we think about. Right. That's why scholars have basically backed away in some respects and say that Joseph was really not a carpenter that would have got him much money. Maybe he'd have done maybe a door that way or a table. But he probably was a construction worker of some sort. And he was stonemason. They worked in stone more than anything else. But you find that in some of these places that I mentioned earlier where they fed horses and other things. Continue on. That's the manger as we think of it. Now, I want to tell you a story right here. Anybody ever heard of Hadrian?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Hadrian was a Roman emperor. And in AD 70, you had Vespasian and then his son Titus. Vespasian went back to be emperor, and Titus stayed behind for the 70 AD destruction of Jerusalem.
Right.
But, and of course, they came around 68. They brought 3 legions of Roman soldiers. That was about 15,000 soldiers into Israel. And of course, they attacked. Eventually, they went to Gamla, the top, and that's quite an interesting area. If you ever go to Israel, to go with, that's where Josephus actually was as a general, and they surrendered. And he told the emperor, he wasn't the emperor at that time, and Titus wasn't, but Vespasian, I should say. He told him that he had a vision, and the vision is that he was going to become the next emperor. And when he did become the next emperor, Josephus became his buddy. He made a nice home for him in Rome to live free of charge at Roman expense.
Sure.
Josephus spent time there writing. That caused him not to be liked very much by Jews during the centuries, but that sort of changed now. But Josephus was there at the destruction of Jerusalem. Anyway, that was that. Hadrian, he came back and he says, we're going to fix this all together. So he came into Israel and he fought. He brought 10 legions of Roman soldiers, not 3, but 10. It's about, 50,000 Roman soldiers came in.
Yikes.
And he took over Jerusalem, took the temple and made it a temple to Zeus. And he called the city Alia Capitolina and dropped to Jerusalem. And he said, any Jew within sight of Jerusalem will be put to death if they show up to look.
And what year was that?
That was in AD 172 when he came in, and 132 and 135 when he did what I'm about to talk about.
Okay.
He changed the land of Philistia, which was made up of Greeks who came from Crete. They weren't any Arabs in Israel until 7 centuries after Christ. So all this discussion about them being their homeland in Palestine, that's a Latin word, not an Arab word, and it was from Greeks. And Palestina became the name for Philistia became the name for Palestina. That's what it became eventually, Palestine. Now, so Hadrian came in, he took it over. Some Simon Bar Kokhba, you know that name probably. But that's the things that happened. But let me tell you what, when he came in, he did what was common in the ancient world. This is not just Roman. This is in the ancient world, all over. When you take over a place, you take the places of worship of the people you conquer, and you build something on that, is to say, my God is better than your God. My God gave us this place, and you lost.
Right.
Your God. They recognized gods, but it was a fact of dominance and the religion. And so Hadrian, what he did, Zeus' place became what was a temple. He took and put where we have the Church of the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, and that location was where he built a temple to Venus or Aphrodite.
Mm-hmm.
And then he went to Bethlehem, of all places. I mean, it's a little bitty place on the side of the road, so to speak. And he goes all the way to Bethlehem to build another sanctuary for Adonis. Mm-hmm. And he put it at the place the Church of the Nativity sits. Now, why would he have done that? Based on the practice of domineering over religions.
Right.
Why would he go into where we have the Church of the Holy Sepulchre now and build a temple? You got to figure that out. And when Constantine's mother, Helena, who was a Christian, came to Israel, she asked where, in fact, was Christ, crucified in the resurrection and so forth. And they pointed that place out to her. They have a long memory. And then she said, where was he born? And they led her to Bethlehem, to the site of where the Church of the Nativity sits today. There's got to be reasoning for all these things. Mm-hmm. And we know that there's a long history of ideas, and as people carry on in the ancient world more than we do. And so I think there's likelihood that based on what happened at that time, we may have actually had what you call X marks the spot. Mm-hmm. Now let me go to the next slide.
What would it have been in Greek?
What in Greek?
X marks the spot.
Let me think on that while we turn to the next slide.
There you go.
Well, I'm glad you're here, Don. Keep turning those slides.
Okay, I could do that.
My wife's daughter, who's a teacher in the 7th, 8th, and 9th grade, I found out in Oregon and Washington.
Oh,
she's over here. Can you see her?
No.
Oh, there you go.
Okay.
Welcome.
She's here visiting for a couple of weeks. So
nice.
I said you might want to come in and have some fun here with us.
Sure.
So excavating at the ancient site of Sodom should not be there.
Oh,
I accidentally left that on there. I'm going to do that with you later. Go back. Forget about the title. I somehow missed that.
Okay.
Anyway, the point of this is looking down on the Church of Nativity.
Oh, okay.
That's why I put this here, and I just forgot to change the slide thing.
Oh, I see the cross.
So it's a Church of the Nativity concealed.
Is that what I see the cross there, right?
I can see. If I could point my finger, I could point some things for you. If you take that middle section there and go, you'll sort of notice there's an opening in that area. Mm-hmm. And that you have to the right, you have part of the church, and then you move into the entrance I'm going to show you in a minute. And then on the other side, look where that little orange thing is up there. I ought to have a pointer. Anyway, that little orange thing that goes up. Okay, you see that?
You needed to reach
the little covering. That right there has a open area there. You see that open area?
Yep.
Okay, that open area is where they have the statue of Jerome, which I'm going to talk about next week with you a little bit. Jerome, who did the Vulgate. But then you come out of that building and you're in the open area. Now I'll show that to you. Go to the next one. Now, this is the open area that you just saw as you were looking down on it. There was a little opening, and then you had the side wall. That's what you were seeing when you're looking down, okay? Now, there's an entrance here, but you're going to find out in just a moment what kind of entrance it is, and that's where you go into the church itself. And that's where you move back and stand in line to go down into the place that it's viewed that Christ was born there. So let's keep going to the next one. That's an open square area. You see people standing around. They're standing in front of the little entrance there. You can't see much. You have police there. You have others there and hanging around and talking. There's a bench on the right. I've sat in that bench more than one time. So let's keep moving.
So that's the Church of the Holy occur?
No, this is the Church of the Nativity.
Nativity. Okay.
That's where the birth occurred. Holy Sepulchre is where the death
Yeah.
and the resurrection is.
Okay.
Okay. Well, at least there's viewpoints on that. Continue.
Mhm.
That just shows people out there wandering around. That's sort of the open area. Certain times of the year, that place is packed, and I would never take a tour group there then.
Yeah.
Although you do have choirs that come there and sing sometimes,
Sure.
which are nice. I've listened to those before. Continue on. That's looking at the other angle. See what I've done? One was looking toward the church. This is, if you turned around, this is what you would see. And that's basically the modern city of Bethlehem.
Okay.
Now, we're moving to the little place that you have an entrance. And let me tell you about that entrance. It's important because it's very, it's just a very short, you have to bend over to get through there.
Oh.
Why do you think they would have an entrance into a church where you have to bend over to get in?
So a horse couldn't come in there.
Yeah.
Well, no, that's a very practical reason. That's a very practical reason that a horse couldn't come in. That may have been a purpose in the design, but it became something even more than that.
To keep you humble.
Yeah, the issue of humility. You have to bend over as you come into the church. But I think Faber's right on that. It probably started out as a very practical way to deal with that problem. But it also became a place of humbleness. You had to bend over and come into the church and worship.
Makes sense.
I thought maybe they would go in kneeling down. I don't know. Would it be the same?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So it's if you'll notice there, you have the seats on either side, and that's where you sort of bend over and get in. I have a picture of a former woman that was a friend of mine several years back. She and her husband were there for the tour, and she bent over to go through this, and you'll see her.
Oh, I thought you were going to say she got stuck.
No, she didn't.
Okay.
Continue. There she is, and you have to get over to get in there. I guarantee you.
You sure do.
You got the place your feet would go is up, and then your head. You sort of squeeze through there a little bit.
Mm.
And when you go in, this is what you see.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a lot of things on the wall. If you'll look above those columns, back, not quite 2,000 years ago, a lot of things, in the early second century, after, well, I shouldn't say that. Probably it would be the 3rd century, I should say. Let me sort of think this thing through a moment. No, actually, Hadrian was there in about 135 doing his thing in building a place out on us here. But in the early 4th century, when you have Helen come in, she actually had a church built here. So we're talking about a little over 100 years later. Okay. Now, go back to the other picture that you moved from. These are all interesting, and I have pictures of some of this, but I didn't think it would be that well. I can show you the pictures up above there, as people do. You have the cross up the top. They have some pictures throughout the building. There's also something here very important, because you had people that came into Israel at one time, and these were not the Arabs. But they came into Israel and took over much of the lands over there. But when they came to this church, they did not do any destruction, because they saw on the wall a picture of people who they thought were probably their kinsmen who had come here. And the picture, it looked like them as people and how they dressed and so forth. So they actually didn't do any damage to the church here, which is very important. It's a lot to rebuild.
Yeah.
But that unfortunately, I don't have a picture of it right now.
They were pictures of the Magi, right?
Well, I think that's what they were thinking. Yes. If I remember correctly, yes.
So they were probably what, Persians? I think.
Yeah, they looked like Persians.
Yeah. Okay, continue on. I need to move you through. I watch my time here with you. Now, here's what I want to explain to you. This reason I took the time to do this. I don't know if the Church of the Nativity is exactly the place that Christ was born. I tend to feel it makes sense based on historical matters. Mm-hmm. So what you see here is very similar to what you saw at the YMCA.
Right.
The kind of cave structure. Mm-hmm. And this is a place I have to figure out, why would Hadrian pick this place to build a sanctuary? Mm-hmm. He did the same thing he did with the temple and the Church of the Holy Sepulchre place at that time, with Aphrodite, or with Venus in Latin. So I look at this and I'm saying there's so much similarity. This easily could have been one of those places again that had some animals, some other humans living, staying at least. There are rooms there they're not really real nice like we think about going to a hotel, but this is where people would stay. And so continue moving. You can see this cave structure above. Now move to next one. Okay, now a little bit better view. They do worship here, by the way. If you go there, it's very common for people to be out there in a priest or a pastor or someone doing something in that area. But we're not yet to the place that's viewed that Christ was born yet. So we're going to take another picture. And this is the place you got to walk down. Okay. And you walk down that little, matter of fact, on one of my house visual study Bible, anybody use that yet?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
It's beginning to get more traction. More and more people are using it. Mm-hmm. So I spent a lot of time on that. And it gives you visual as well as images, the videos and word studies and everything imaginable we're doing and trying to get it done. But I have a video to explain it all at the end of the tunnel, because this tunnel actually goes to a place of a door and you can't get through the door. It doesn't open up. But it does demonstrate, particularly when you go on the other side of where that is, which you can, that this would have been an open area. And if you were going to have a baby and your husband's there and you're pregnant and you're giving birth, would you want to be close to the front or toward the back?
Back.
The back. And why is that?
You don't want everybody looking at you. You want privacy.
Yes. Also, you don't want wind and other kinds of things that might take place too. But you're right. It's a lot more privacy and protection. So you walk all the way down here, take the next picture, and it shows you a little bit farther in. And then on the other side, you'll see the door. Keep going. Now, this is inside. If you were to go then where you came in the church and go over to the right, there'd be a long line. And go down some steps, would come into this location, which is viewed to be the place where Christ was born. That door, if you would go through there, and I've actually gone through there, you can do it, but that door is on the other side of where that other hall left, the
tunnel,
and you'd have to go through. Yes, go ahead.
Okay.
So now go back. I was talking about, go back. If you look there, you can see there's a cave structure there. They just put that thing on the wall, but it's clearly a cave, and that door, if he wasn't there, would be just an opening.
Yeah.
So this is inside the place that is viewed that Christ was born.
Okay. So they modified it a little bit.
Yeah. That just shows you the top. It's really sort of a dirty area, but it's the place that is likely to view.
Is that Wi-Fi or what?
Yeah, I think sure that is. This right here is one of the two places. A lot of people, when you come, if you look where those curtains are on the right, people come down the steps. Of course, it's really crowded. But when you come down the steps, a few people are allowed in, and they go around and look. Then you go back up the other steps into the auditorium. But people come to here, they kneel, a lot of them, and kiss this area right here.
Right in the middle.
And that's very common also in the Church of Holy Sepulchre, where people kiss the place that they believe Christ.
Yeah.
So it's a common practice on the part of some. But they'll come here and do this. There's also another place to the right behind there that some people believe Christ may have been, placed in a manger. But anyway, this is what people see when they go to these sites. Continue. Now, the Herodium, I've already showed you that. I'm not going to do any more there. Do we have, I forget if this is the last one or not. No. Oh, yeah, here we are. I remember this. I put it in here. There you have the three wise men.
Are the wise guys known?
Most of your pictures and most of your things you put out for Christmas will be. So I'm not going to fight against that. But you do have an angel there, and the three wise men with gifts are three. And then they are. What do you think about the idea of these guys looking at stars trying to figure out things? That sounds very, very biblical.
No. Very, very Eastern.
Yeah.
It's a mystical thing.
Yeah.
I think doesn't the Bible though, Dr. House, talk about how he put the planets in the heavens for us to read certain things, or I can't remember the exact.
That's why astrologers do it. But there's a history in the East where Abraham came from, obviously about stars portending or giving the information for things. Yes. Mm-hmm. And so they had to travel a long ways to get to Israel from the area of Ur and that area, below Babylonia.
Yeah, they believe that a lot of like the stars they were seeing, a lot of them were planets. That were,
I had a picture of a star, and I thought about bringing it, and but I chose not to do that. It's just what they would be looking at.
Because I think the planet Jupiter is considered the planet or the star of the kings. That's what they may have seen, or who knows? There's a lot of speculation.
Yeah. Yeah, I had another one with a spaceship downloading angels, but I decided not to bring that one on either.
That would have been cool.
Keep moving.
Next.
And here we have a wonderful picture. I love this guy's art. Love this guy's. Keep going. I love this guy's. His name is Tussaud. Have you seen Tussaud's work? He does a lot of things that are religious.
That's pretty cool.
They're well done. By the way, the three travelers who follow the star, it's very unlikely that they would not have some kind of group of people that would come with them.
Sure.
Because they would probably be wealthy, and they would need food supplies and protection, and they had a whole concert of individuals.
Yeah, it had to be a caravan of sorts. Yeah.
So this is what Tussaud at least came forth with, and he has a great one on the resurrection I love, and I'll probably show it to you later.
Nice.
And next we go to the last slide.
There they are.
There's the ones that we took pictures of. They were sort of slow. So.
They made it a little late, huh?
Okay. Well, we pretty well covered it. I'm usually going over a lot, so I had to cut out some slides I normally would have put in, but I think that would cover it. What are we going to do next time? We're probably going to go ahead and continue on. Let's see, that was still Christmas will just be finished. I wonder if I I try to keep the theme here a little bit.
Sure.
And we could go ahead and discuss other matters like the Herodium, which is quite interesting, which is where King Herod, was buried. But that keeps us in the land of Israel. I do want to go back to Jordan because there's some fascinating things in Jordan. I had the privilege of teaching at the Jordan Evangelical Theological Seminary in Amman several times, and explored a lot of Jordan, more so than I normally do. Plus, I did digs several times at a place called Tal Hammam, which is probably the place of ancient Sodom. And so I surely want to cover that stuff up in some other areas before we move on to. There's so much into Israel to look at that we're going to go one after the other. And I thought I'd just keep those all together and sort of give you Jordan and then go into Israel and start talking about all sorts of places, one session at a time. So do you have any preference? I could deal with Herodium, or I could cover that when we come back. It's close to Bethlehem, the reason I mention it. Or I can come back and do that as one of the sites, probably with Israel, and maybe take you back into Jordan, talk about Sodom and those places, and then come back to Israel again. Are you happy with that approach, or you want to do something else?
Rhodion's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good idea.
I have a question.
Yes.
So when you give the tours over there, are you linking and speaking some scripture sometimes at the sites?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. I didn't know if that might be appropriate for sneaking in some of this because, learning scripture linked to sites is pretty awesome. I'm thinking, but
Well, years ago, when I first started doing tours back in the early 90s, I guess, I'm somewhere in there, I let guides do a lot, and I found out that they didn't know a lot by and large. And I try not to be offensive, but I usually explain to them at the beginning that I'll be doing the teaching and explaining, and they can get us to the place, they can watch over things, and, they can be a part. But I want to take time to teach at every site we go, talk about the scripture and make you see why are we here looking at this site? What are we trying to get out of it? And what's the Bible talking about?
Amen.
So we do that every place I go. That's the way I teach.
Cool.
I don't tell jokes as much as I do here, but I do try to keep things going. Anyway, you think about it. We can, if I don't hear differently, I think maybe what we'll do is go back to Jordan. Is that okay? I want to talk to you about Sodom. I want to talk to you about
Sodom's nice. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk about
Sodom's
that.
To learn from.
Madaba, we'll go to Madaba, which is a Christian community, although being infiltrated more by Muslims.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have north western, which has some cool things like Pella that you'll see in the Bible. And that's where Christians were urged to go to, and ultimately. And then the places of what are called Jerish and the place called Qais today in Arabic, which is a place of what is called Gadara, not Gerasa. Both of those are wrong because pigs didn't travel 20 miles to jump off a mountain. So there's a place called Gergasa, which is the place exactly of the pig situation. So anyway,
cool.
Blessings for Christmas. I hope you have a great one.
Same.
I haven't received my Christmas gifts from anyone yet.
Put in the mail.
It's gotta be late.
Coming by camel, I think.
All right.
Yes, no, I'm just joking.
So while we're ending, I'm going to end the stream.
All right, here we go.
Okay.
Okay.